Hello fellow traders, Philip Tigers from Stock Market Strategy, bringing our third video of the day trading strategies, the MACD stair steps. But before I go into the system itself, I want to urge you to watch the video they call the general tips. It's because you need to watch that one so you know what we're doing with these videos. These are for inspiration purposes. So you need to use this for inspiration to design your own strategy that suits you. The next is that the other video will explain how you can safeguard yourself going forward using a simulator, minimum position size, and so on. So I really urge you to watch that video. The MACD strategy uses two very important components, of course the MACD itself, but also what we call the stair steps, which is very important because it's only because of the stair steps this strategy works. Now, with MACD, if you don't know what MACD is, I recommend that you watch our other free video, the MACD video, so you know what the MACD really tells you. But first, let me show you here. We have MACD crossover here. When the MACD, the cyan color, crosses up through the white line, which is the 9 exponential moving average, which also calls the trigger line. So when the MACD line crosses up through that, it's a signal. But it's not just that easy to trade the MACD. It has to be in the right market conditions. And that's where the stair step comes in. And this is very important, and I will show you what I mean with the stair steps. The stair steps is when the price, after making a new high, comes back and forms a low that is equal or higher than the previous high. So this low here is not allowed to push back further down than this high. So it works like a stair step. Here you can stair step up here. This is very important because it shows that the buyers are still very aggressive when sellers can't push it further down than that. And that's why this strategy works, not because the MACD signals a crossover, no. The MACD in this case is only what triggers our entry. The stair step is what makes this system work. Do not forget that. MACD is just an indicator still. It has to be during the right market conditions, and the stair step is a big part of what we call the right market conditions. Here's a list what you need to look for entries. You need to look for the MACD crossing up through the signal line, and then you need the stair step pattern. For a short signal, MACD crossing down through the signal line, but also stair step. The exit for the long would be you measure the last up move and project the target. I will of course show this on charts so you know what I mean. Then your stop is below the current low. For the short signal, you measure the last down move and then you project your target. And your stop is above the current high. Let me show you some examples of how this works. Here you see CELG again. First we look for these stair steps, price coming back to maximum price ring high. Then we get a cross of the MACD, which is in this case just the entry signal. It's not the reason why the system works, it's the stair step. Then your stop is below that support base area. Then you measure the last up move, and then you project that from the pullback low, and then you get your target. Next, stair step again, price pulls back to maximum price ring high. We get the MACD crossover. Then we place our stop below that swing low. We then measure the up move, and we then project that up, and that's our target. So a very simple strategy if you know how to spot the stair steps. So it's very important that you learn that. Here's a little comment as well. You notice this pullback here, and this is where it takes experience and screen time, and just don't trade this. Like I mentioned, use a simulator, learn the system. But you see how the price pulls back here, but this is not what I call a pullback. This is what I call a sell-off. You see these pullbacks here, how we retraces with not that steep of a slope. We retraces sideways down. The same here. It's a control pullback. It's what I call a control pullback. Whereas here we're selling off steep. You see big red momentum bars closing at the low of the bar, showing weakness. When I see that, then I no longer look to trade it. But that doesn't mean that you can avoid these all the time. In this case, I would not take it, but even if you did, it's just part of trading. You cannot expect a 100% hit rate. But try to notice these sell-off here and compare it with these retracements and see the difference. It will help you weed out 1 loser, 2 losers, 3 losers, everything that helps your bottom line. Let's just look at another example. Here we look at Into. We look for the stair step, a control retracement back to the price ring high. Again, look at this control retracement. It's not a sell-off like up here where we just go vertical down. Then we look for a crossover. Again, just as the entry signal. Then we place our stop below the retracement. We measure the last up move and project that up. You can see here that we actually didn't hit the target, and this will sometimes happen. This is where you will have to use some common sense and go, it's really close to the target, so let me take some profit. If not, then at least when you see the market start selling off like this, you take your profit and go like, that's how trading is. Sometimes you get your full target, sometimes you don't. Again, you can increase your edge. You can do that with these simple things, but remember, try to find out your own ways of increasing your edge. But here, the basic system has an edge. We can increase that by going with the trend. This could be a higher time frame trend, or it could simply just be this trend right now. The last thing that could increase your edge is take the first setup. That means take the first step. We know that in an uptrend, the longer we have been in it, the closer we are to the end. So if you keep taking them, you know that sooner or later one of those setups will not work because it's the end of the trend. So if you want to have the highest edge, the highest odds of success, you take the basic setup with the trend and only the first setup. But again, this is just an example of how you can improve your edge. You can come up with your own ideas how to filter out the weak trades. Like I mentioned, the right market conditions has to be there, and it's very important. The first could be, like I mentioned, a control retracement / pullback. Not a sell-off, for example, if you're looking to go long. Try to look at the bars. Are they closing at the low? Are they big bars? If they're big sell-off bars, it probably is a sell-off instead of a control retracement. But this is where experience comes in and screen time. Second could be clean price charts. Don't trade something that has a lot of rapid swings, big bars the first 5 minutes of the day and then nothing happens during the rest of the day. Or insignificant bars all day long because it's an illiquid stock, for example. Try to find the right stocks as well, the clean charts. Don't trade around holidays. Lower volume means more fake setups. Less volume, the more noise. Don't trade around Fed announcement or other major news. Your setup might be correct. You've done all your analysis. But if there's bad news out or the Fed comes up with something, it can move that stock or future completely the opposite way despite what your charts are telling you. Simply because the news can do this. Also, sometimes price moves too much based on news and then it moves in your direction again. But the problem is, until we got rid of all that panic selling or whatever happened around those news, you got stopped out in the meantime. So don't trade around Fed and other major news. And again, figure out what is the right market conditions for your strategy. You're using these for inspiration. You might use part of it, you might use it all, combined with your indicators. Then figure out what is the right market conditions from your strategy. Screen time, look at the charts again and again and again. Figure out why some works, some doesn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you like this video, feel free to thumb it up. This ends the video. Have a good day.